Willits is our town. Always has been, and always will be. Like any other town, it changes just a little bit from time to time. So we're here to let you know some of the things that are going on in your town.
Hello, I'm Shari Williams-Andrews, your host for This Week in Willits, where we always learn more about our town and its recent and upcoming events. First up, Ron Lippert talks to local Willits rancher John Ford about plans for Caltrans bypass that involves his property. Next up, we'll give you a snapshot of the annual Willits Photography Club show that took place at the Willits Center for the Arts back in November. Although the show has concluded, you can find out more about the club by visiting their Yahoo group page at Willits Photography Club. Okay, now let's see what Willits rancher John Ford has to say.
To this point, Caltrans has done nothing to jeopardize our leases, and in all fairness to Caltrans, Dave Kelly was up front in March and said that, well earlier than that, he'd said that there was going to be a slight reduction in grazing, and then in March it was going to be a substantial reduction in grazing. But to this point today, that Caltrans, all our leases are intact, and they haven't even said that they are going to be restricted, but I know that they're still working to try to come up to modify this grazing situation. But we have not seen a final map. We haven't seen a map, but when we sold the property, it was understanding that we were going to lose some areas, riparian areas along the creeks. Now, and that was the understanding, but the leases would remain in full force and effect, with the exception of the losses along the riparian areas. That, who knows? I mean, they keep extending it out. You know, there's supposed to be a hearing sometime or a public hearing sometime this fall, and now they're saying that all the documentation is not going to be done until the end of September. And once again, I mean, I think it's the Army Corps telling Caltrans what they'll accept and won't accept, but then why won't they come to a public hearing? So I don't know when the hearing will be, but there should be at least a 60-day review when their final plan comes out. That I do not know. You'd have to ask. That's the question you should ask Dave Kelly.
Okay. So at this point, you're somewhat satisfied with them, or?
Well, we're still kind of in limbo because we have an under 180-day. They can terminate and give us 180 days to get off, but it's, 180 days can be short notice on certain times of the year, as when you're trying to plan a grazing regime. But there's no cattle. This is a seasonal wetland. It's not a permanent wetland. This whole valley is a seasonal wetland.
Right.
So so when it's dry enough, you've got to be able to use it. When it's wet enough, you've got to get out of here, just because it's just too wet. Well, we originally leased back from Caltrans, I think it was 928. And like I say, once again, what the reduction is going to be, I do not know. But I know the first map we saw in March, they were going to take away roughly between 600 and 700 acres of our ground. But now the rumor mill is that it's not going to be that much, but how much I do not know. I absolutely do not know.
So you feel as angry about it now as you did earlier?
Well, I was never really angry. I was just upset that why would Caltrans sign an agreement with a 4-year lease with the right to extend it for an additional 4 years, and then 3 or 4 months after the fact say that there's going to be a big reduction in the grazing acreage, because my other argument is that, and nobody's really answered it, is that the original plan was that grazing was to be continued on this property, so there'd be change of ownership, but no change in use. And Caltrans, it had to be change of ownership because that had to satisfy the state of California's needs for the ground. But if that's the case, then from my thinking, they should have to go back and redo the EIR because the economic aspect of the environmental document has not been met. And also the environmental deal will change too if you do take the grazing. So they have to redo their EIR, both the environmental, for the environmental impact and the economic impact. And I don't know what checklist that's part of, but I don't know if it's NEPA or the CEQA, but I know that the original documents that they filed are inadequate.
So you feel the bypass is necessary?
Well, the thing of it is, I'm not going to stand in the way of progress, but I'll tell you, I don't like to be misled with let's say our legal aspect in this thing. If somebody wants to try to beat me in a legal game, well, let's just put it up let the truth stand on its own, and let's just see where it goes. But we went in operating this whole contract all the way through in good faith, all the way through.
No matter what happens?
Well, we own this piece.
Okay, so you don't have to leave here.
Yeah, but I mean, this is my main bulk of my operation. I mean, everything funnels from here all the way to the old mill over there.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the way, because this is the highest end of the valley, and so then it's all set up, it's all intermingled. I mean, we've been here since '81, and we kind of built this whole thing around this piece here. So because this is the highest, this is where it got good facilities.
Mm-hmm.
You can handle a lot of cattle here, and you can get in and out of here all year round with truck and trailers without getting stuck.
Right.
So.
Right. It's pretty wet down there in the winter. Yeah.
In fact, I was showing somebody out. Well, Mike Thompson was here. I guess it'd be a week ago tomorrow, and I was showing him out there right where we were standing. I said, "You may or may not believe me, but in that New Year's Eve storm here a few years ago, there was 13 feet of water right here."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, how do you know?" I said, "Because that's how high the debris was in the trees." So it's wet out there when it's wet, but it produces a tremendous amount of feed. That's the thing that's sad. You say, what's the purpose of taking out a production of food and fiber? And then, see, when Caltrans bought this, they bought it under protection and preservation, not restoration and creation. That says it right in their own appraisal. And so, to me, it should qualify for preservation credits. And it's 90. By their own appraisal again, 90 to 95% of it's they qualify as high quality wetlands. So I mean, it's kind of a story of how do you make the best better, I guess. But that's what they bought it for, was under a preservation and protection strategy.
Well, the saga continues. We'll hear from you or some sources as it develops, right?
A lot of their computer work was generated not by field studies. It was generated off a map. So there's no substitute by having your boots on the ground.
This is our 10th show in the Art Center. We have one every year. This year we're showing about 20 members, and there's a wide range of subjects. We meet every second Saturday of the month at the JD Red House, and we'd love to have new people come in and take a look at the show. We are running till the end of November, so you get a chance every Thursday and Friday from 4 to 7, and every Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 3. You can come in and take a look. have all kinds of people. We have people who are retired in every piece of equipment known to man, and we have other folks who just use a little snapshot camera. We actually have an exhibit this year where all the photos are done with a cell phone for the specific purpose to let you folks know that you don't have to have the latest and greatest and the biggest, most expensive equipment to do good photography. We let everybody choose their own pieces, and we had a hanging committee this year that kind of organized it by theme to give it a more coherent look, but no, it's up to everybody what they want to do for the show. In our meetings, we have themed meetings where 1 month everybody will take pictures of reflections and critique those. And actually quite a few photos that we see in those meetings have shown up in the show. We have a Yahoo group site that we do messaging on. It's Willits Photography Club. You can check that out and see what's going on. There's a calendar of our meetings.
That was our latest episode of This Week in Willits. The individual segments of this program were produced by local filmmakers. And no, you don't have to be a film pro to contribute to This Week in Willits. Contact us with your idea and find out how you or your organization can be a part of our next program. I'm Shari. Goodbye until next time.
So that's about it for now. Things are happening in Willits, as they always are, and things are changing, as they always do. Yet it's still the same familiar hometown we've all come to know and appreciate for what it is. We'd like to know what's happening with you, with your families, and the organizations which would not exist without your efforts and support. So give us a call at 459-2528 and let us know what's going on with you. Maybe you'll be a part of our next story. Keep tuned and join us next time to see what's happening this week in Willits.